So this is something that the media has covered. Let me show you an example of what the media coverage was like. It says that India, this is from the Times of India. It's from October 21, which is yesterday. Yes. Today is 22. Yes. So it says that India has successfully tested the nuclear capable Agni Prime missile, and it goes on to talk about the test. It says that the ballistic missile has a range of about 2,000 kilometers, which is the officially stated range, and so on and so forth. It's the smallest and lightest among the Agni series of ballistic missiles. So when you have a ballistic missile like the Agni Prime, which has a range between 1,000 and 2,000 kilometers officially, it means that it's essentially targeted, aimed at neighboring nations that are a headache for India, which essentially means that it is meant for Pakistan and China. That's what it means, right? Now, what these reports are not telling us is something I will put on the screen. That's why it is important to keep an eye on multiple sources of news. Keep an eye on Twitter as well. So this is a journalist from I don't know which organization, maybe the Print, yeah. So he says that meanwhile, India today successfully tested the Agni Prime missile. It seems that it has been tested with MIRV technology, which allows delivery of multiple warheads at separate locations. This is interesting, right? This is interesting. What is MIRV technology? MIRV stands for Multiple Independently Targetable Re-entry Vehicle. That's what MIRV means. It means that on a single missile, you could put 5 warheads or 2 warheads or 10 warheads, 10 nuclear warheads, and each of these warheads will go to a separate destination. That's what it means. So on a single missile, you can put multiple warheads, and each of them goes to a different destination. And it's really hard to um, it's really hard to combat this sort of technology. It's very hard to intercept MIRV warheads because most likely they are released after the re-entry of the missile into the atmosphere, and then they go off in different directions. It's really hard to intercept these MIRV warheads, and only a small number of nations have MIRV technology. The US has it, the Russians have it, and the Chinese have it most likely. And I'm not sure if anybody else has it. France, UK, I'm not really sure about that. And France and UK don't really, well, they are not that significant, obviously, as compared to the other nations, right? Because they don't have completely independent foreign policies. So India seems to have tested MIRV technology. We knew for a long time that India has MIRV technology. How do we know? How do we know? How have I known for a decade that India already has MIRV technology? MIRV technology is the same. It's the same thing as releasing a number of satellites. It's the same thing as placing a number of satellites, let's say 20 satellites, on a single GSLV or PSLV rocket. And once the rocket reaches the atmosphere, you put these satellites, you deploy the satellites in different orbits. It's the same thing as deploying nuclear warheads. The only thing is you make the rocket re-enter the atmosphere, and then you deploy the warheads in different directions. So when a nation is capable of launching a single rocket with more than 100 satellites and deploying each of these satellites in precise predetermined orbits, that itself is MIRV technology. That's a high level demonstration of MIRV technology. So India has had this technology for at least a decade. This may have been tested in the past, but I think now it has been semi-officially announced, it looks like. And let's take a look at another another media report that I think everybody has missed from about a year ago, more than a year ago. So over here it says, come on the screen. Here we go. Here we are. India to conduct first user trial of the Agni-5 missile. Now, the Agni-5 missile is a much longer, has a much larger range, much longer range. It talks about MIRV technology, right? The next trial of the Agni-5 missile assumes significance as it may be equipped with the MIRV capable, etc. Although the MIRV capability of the missile was secretly tested during a multi-satellite launch, no live launch has been conducted so far, and so on. For the first time, the indigenous MIRV technology was tested successfully in the Agni-P missile, with the weapon delivering 2 maneuverable warheads. Oh my God, it's maneuverable. It's MIRV and MARV at the same time. So it delivered 2 maneuverable warheads at 2 separate locations, and so on. So MIRV is about multiple independent re-entry vehicles, but MARV is those re-entry vehicles, or those re-entering warheads are capable of maneuvering around. So they will not come down in a parabolic ballistic trajectory. They may move around and not let you know until the last moment where they intend to hit the ground. So yeah, so we have these technologies. We have had them for a long time. It looks like it's been tested also, but I have not seen a single analyst, geopolitical analyst, or strategic affairs expert, or geopolitical expert speak about this. Well, here you have it. This is all happening. So we have MIRV, we also have MARV. It looks like it's already been tested a few times, perhaps. Yeah. So interesting things happening now. Why is India testing this only on the Agni Prime missile? Why not on the Agni 4, Agni 5, or something like that? So this is all about signaling. You can test MIRV technology on the Prithvi missile if you want. I don't think the Prithvi is capable of MIRV, but I'm just saying. So you can test it on a short range missile, or a medium range missile, or an ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile. When you test MIRV technology on an intercontinental ballistic missile, it sends a message to intercontinental nations. So if you are testing MIRV technology on, let's say, the Agni 5, which is, or Agni 6, whichever is the intercontinental missile, it sends a message to the US or to other nations that are far away. But if you test this technology on an Agni Prime missile, which has a medium range, it only targets China and Pakistan, it kind of reassures nations like the US that we don't mean this for you. It's only meant at our immediate neighbors, adversaries. So it sends a message to Pakistan and China, but not to the US. I mean, the US also understands that you could place the same technology on a longer range missile, but it's all about keeping things calm and cool and sending a message only to certain nations. But it's to be understood that the same technology, the same MIRV thing, can be placed on an ICBM, and it could be delivered to any part of the world, essentially, right? And yeah, so that's what it is. So this is interesting. These are interesting developments that we are witnessing right now. So that is something I thought that I should bring to your notice, because I find it very interesting that nobody has spoken about this thus far.